Hey guys, what's going on? This is Dice Squad. My name is Marshall Dice, known as Adam Campbell.
And General Dice, known as Todd Evangelista.
And Pokey Dice, known as James McAwee.
And this is the only show where we traverse the cosmos, searching for new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no Dice Squad has ever gone before.
Oh, and we have shirts that say Dice Squad.
That too.
We traversed to get those too. We searched the galaxy.
So, Pokedice, welcome back on the show.
Oh, thank you. Always a pleasure to work with you guys.
Where have you been?
Well, me and Demo Dice have been doing other things, getting him prepped for our podcast today with you guys.
Alrighty.
His debut, actually.
That's true.
Right.
That's true. You break him through the ranks.
Yeah,
But
pretty much,
also,
pretty much.
don't you have your own podcast?
We do. Me and Mike Demo Dice have a podcast, which is the Retro Warp Zone. Everything retro gaming. We do, at the podcast for it. We try to, get as many games as we can to play. We have our lovely ostrich, which is known as Adam Campbell. He's always in a video with us. So yeah, we've been doing that. We're doing good
And
there.
let's just be clear, folks. Those are video games.
Yes, video
You
games.
need a computer to play it.
No,
You need a
console.
console.
A what?
You need a game console.
Game console.
Which is a computer.
Technically.
Sure, we'll call it that.
All right. Then you
Well-
need some sort of computational machine.
All right. Enough with video games. Let's
So-
get back to this board game.
So, General, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about Roll for the Galaxy. That's
Oh,
right.
man.
It's new. It came out just this year, and I have been playing Race for the Galaxy, which is the game it was based on, a card-based game. They changed it to a dice-based game, and although it is still complicated, it is much easier to explain, and you can get people playing it they can go right into it. And it's easier to play than to explain. But be that as it may, we're going to explain how to play.
Now, when I first played this game, General, it seemed a little bit confusing at first.
It is.
It was very confusing when
That's
I
not
played.
just seemingly, because I can even see that even though you've played it twice, your tableau is incorrectly set up. You must...
Oh.
We're going to explain first how to set up the game. The first thing you do is you set out the phases, and there are 5 phases in the game. Not all of them will be used every time. Then you pick your home world. Mine is the destroyed planet. Then you pick a twofer and add that to your home world.
Is that a technical term?
Well, I don't know what they call them, but they're 2 linked together, and they give you bonuses. And so the idea is that the home world combined with the twofer, you'll have many, many different combinations. Then you pull two tiles from the bag. Each tile from the bag has a development, which is an infrastructure that you have to build in your galaxy, and a world. And that's one side is a diamond shape, one side is a circle shape. And you put those in your construction zone. You know it's a construction zone because it shows you a wrench, and you put the diamond that you'd like to build on the diamond and the circle that's on the circle. So you have a development and a world that are under construction. You cannot use their power until they are placed in your tableau after they are constructed. And we'll explain how to do that shortly. We also have on a citizenry. These are your slackers. These are the people who are supposed to be working, but they're not. You need to pay them to put them into the cup, to roll them so that they will start to work for you and build your either infrastructure, your development, or your world. They will they will settle your world for you.
So you can't just crack the whip. You can't just.
You can crack it, but
You have to.
they're
pay
not
them,
going to do it.
Ugh.
So what we're going to do first
You know
is,
the best things in life aren't free.
no. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through the phases. Now the
Have you ever
first
been cracked with the whip? But
Yes.
you do it for free.
Yes.
I actually have been, but I was the one who was snapping it, so it was not that.
Gotcha.
It was kind of embarrassing, really.
Moving on.
So we have the first phase there. If it's not going to happen, you leave it with the X side up. If somebody chooses to explore, then we're going to have an explore phase. And in the explore phase, what you do is whatever dice you have placed underneath explore, you can either turn in. Each dice you turn in is worth 2 money, and normally you start at 1, but I have a world that gets me to start at 8. And you add that up, so the first die would get you 3, the next die would get you to 5, then to 7. Or you may choose to draw tiles from the bag. Tiles from the bag, which may have been gone back in the bag. Here we go. So we have a bag, and in that are more tiles. And if I say this world is too hard to put out, I will abandon it, and I will get to draw not only 1 tile for turning in a die to my citizenry, but I'll get to pull 2 tiles, and then I will say, oh, this one is really nice, but it's too expensive, and this one is good, and this one is good. So I will put it like this. I can order it however I like, but normally I'm going to take, if I choose to take this development, I would place it underneath the development I already have.
Now you said something about too expensive.
Right.
How do you buy those to get them into your land, into your world?
An excellent question, because the next phase that you can choose is the development phase or the settlement phase. If you choose to develop, you take all the dice that you put under develop and you place them on your diamond. If you have the number that's inside the diamond, which in this case is 4, it would go out into your tableau. Unfortunately, I only have 3, so they'd have to wait there until another die came out with a development phase, then this one would come out. If you had, say, if I had, say, 6 dice, I could put the first one for 4 out, and then since this one gives me a discount of 1, the 2 dice would go down there and put this one out too. You can put out more than 1 development on a turn. Or world, the same thing.
And you can only build the development that's on top. You can't pick the one on the bottom and start building on that unless you throw it away, right?
But if you have enough to build the top one and then enough to build the bottom one, you can build them both.
And
but
you
you can't just say, oh, this is cheaper, I'll put this one out.
Has that ever happened before?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially if you have a lot of little developments. 1, 2, 3, little worlds. 1, 2, 1. Boom, boom, boom. 4 dice, you get out all your worlds.
And you did teach me that if you say you want to destroy the development of the world and you have dice on it, that dice falls down to the next one.
Yeah, so you could say, oh, this is too I had 3 on that. Well, I can't do anything with this, but if I throw it away during an exploration, the dice would fall down on my 3 and they'd put it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you build the development or world, the people go back in the slacker pool or your citizenry. And you're going to have to pay money to get them out of that and back into the cup. We'll talk about that in a second, because first we have to talk about the produce phase. If you choose the produce phase, then you place any dice that you have listed under your produce onto the worlds. They have to be non-gray worlds. That means they're yellow, brown, green, or blue.
Which are signified by the circles and diamonds, right?
Right. Their circle will be colored in, and you can put any color die on a world. Why would you do that? Because of the next phase, the shipping phase. When you choose to ship, you send a rocket ship, you pick up that good that's on there, and you can either trade and get money for it, and alien goods, the yellow goods, are worth
Always
6.
like money.
He has a brown world that's going to be worth 4, and Adam has either a blue worth 3 or a brown worth 4. So you can trade as many dice as you have to get those goods back into your citizenry. You get money. You take that money at the end of the turn. You take your money and you pull it all the way down to 0 and take as many dice as you can into your cup. Now,
And the more dice you have, the better chance you are to get more things.
Because now we're going to talk about rolling. But see here, I had 6 dice and I had 8 money. I'd take it down to 2, take all the dice I could, and I'd still have 2 for next time. Once you go down to 0, though, you bounce back up to 1. So you'll always be able to take, at the end of your turn, you'll be able to take 1 die back into your cup. And that's the important thing. Now, let's talk about rolling the dice, which is the fun part.
My favorite part.
Now, where do you roll your dice? You roll them in secret behind this little screen so nobody can see what you want, what you're going to get. So, first thing to do is you have a little indicator. And on this indicator are the 5 phases. You take the dice and you sort them and place them all the way underneath the indicator. Then you choose which phase you want to definitely occur. I have a settle, and it is only going to take me 2 to get this guy out, so I am going to choose to settle. So I know I'm not going to need this ship because I don't have anything on a world. So I choose to take the ship, and it doesn't matter what's on the die, what face is on the die. I can put it wherever I want to call for. So I'm going to call for a settle, but I don't want these 2 guys to know what I'm calling for. They have to try and guess what I'm calling for. Here, I'm betting that one of them is going to call for an explorer, and I'm going to get to pull some tiles out of the bag with my 2 explorers. If, however, they do not call for an explorer, I will take these 2 and put them back in the cup and swear at them because they didn't pick what I wanted them to pick. Why didn't you pick what I wanted you to pick?
That happened a lot last game.
It happens every game.
You're going to cry.
But I would still get the 2 that I wanted to use anyways, and during the settle phase I'd put that out. And it's very hard to wrap your head around, but overall, once you play it, it's easy. There's one more thing that we forgot to talk about, and that is the shipping. When you ship, you can ship to trade, which gets you money, or you can ship to consume. And if you consume, that means you put what you have out there. Let's say I have this red die on the yellow, and I have a white spaceship. By choosing to consume, I get 1 victory point. Then I get an extra victory point for each matching die color. So if this had been yellow, I would have gotten 2 victory points. If this had also been yellow, that's 3 victory points. It comes out of the cup. The end game is triggered when this cup is empty or when somebody has built 12 tiles into their tableau. And then we add up the victory points. Now my doomed world is worth 0 victory points because you see I have a 0 inside the circle.
It's also doomed, right?
It's doomed, but we have money and we're buying our way out of our situation. And in here we have a 0 world, so that's also worth 0 victory points. But my alien world is worth 3. And if I got some of these developments out, whatever is in that diamond is how many victory points I get. The only exception to that is the 6 developments. When you get a 6 development out, it also has a little side text that says you get 1 bonus for. 1 bonus for any kind of non-gray world, perhaps, or 1 bonus for alien world, 1 bonus for every development you've put out. We add up the developments and all the points at the end of the game. Whoever has the most is the victor.
Did you talk about the other rule? I think you missed it about rolling the dice.
Oh, yes.
That you may reassign 1 dice that of your choosing. If you say you have 2 here, say you roll this and you want this dice to become, you put it here, you want this dice to become one of them, you're allowed to do that.
Right. It's a 1 for 1. You're going to take 1 out from underneath here, say I'm going back into the cup, and then you can reassign what you have underneath here however you want.
And that reassign goes back in your cup.
Well, no, this one goes back in the cup, but the one that has the dictator,
okay.
this is called the dictate power, and this is called the reassign. The reassign goes out and does what it does. The dictate goes back in your cup.
Gotcha.
And that is pretty much the game. It's kind of let's do one playthrough, and kind of show them how it goes.
Good idea, General.
Yeah, we'll give it a try.
All this stuff seems kind of confusing for an average player
trying
to pick up this game.
Well, I played it my first time last week, and it was very confusing to get at first. But after hearing Todd explain it, and Adam, and they helped out.
And if you're trying to teach this game to someone, I think the first couple of times, don't play with the shields. Put the shields away and just show everybody your open hand and say, okay, I'm going to choose this, I'm going to choose that.
Actually, I think you forgot something, General. Everything you need to know is actually on the back of your shield. It's a little confusing, but after you play it a few times, it makes sense.
It's written in mostly English.
Mostly.
And symbols.
If you know the symbols, you can figure out what they're trying to say.
Or if you took Greek or Latin.
No, I don't think that's going to help you. But
or hieroglyphics in that matter.
But also, we should talk a little bit about the dice too, because these are your home dice, your basic dice. They have 1 of each symbol on each side, and I think 2 of Explore. Now, when you get red dice, and again, this is all on here, red dice are weighted towards settlement and development. Yellow dice, they have an asterisk. That means wild. You can choose to put that wherever. They have like 3 asterisks, 3 wilds on there. Again, the green ones have a couple of wilds. These are purple dice. Purple dice are whatever color you want them to be. So if I put a purple on the yellow and pick it up with a purple ship, that means if I consume, I'm going to get 3 victory points because purple is a wild color. And they're hard to come by. So, we're ready to go. Let's play a game of it. All right. And I'll play mine face up. You guys can hide if you want. All right. Now I had 4 dice to roll. I got 1 explore, 1 ship, and 2 developments. Now I have to think what I want to call for. If my development only costs 3, so I can call for a development phase and get my 3 out. I'm not going to need to ship anything, so I might as well use that die to call for that phase, and then I'm betting that one of the guys will do an explore, and I'll get to use this die for something. All right, because I know that he needs a lot of guys back, and Adam needs a lot of guys back, so we'll hope for it. All right, what did you do there?
I went with I got one to produce and 2 explore. Well, I need those 3 guys to come back to me, so I need money. I just can't whip them. So I'm going to use my produce and put it on the Explore, so now I have 3. So that'll be my turn. So, at the time...
Because remember, these guys are going to go into his citizenry, so if he can get 6 money, he can get all of them back and into his cup.
Yes.
All right, Adam, what'd you choose?
I chose to explore because I need to get more dice because I didn't get a really good roll this time around, and I got one ship I got.
All right.
But I got nothing to ship, so...
Well, you can use that ship to maybe put him up in the dictate.
That maybe also.
Or you could put this guy back and maybe call the ship since you don't need the ship.
Yeah.
That works
You
too.
could go and put that in the Explorer.
But
and then if you have a develop phase, that one guy's going to go into get you a develop. And one of the things that we forgot to mention is if you have a die stranded on your develop or your world and it's not happening, at the end when you pay money to bring these guys back from your citizenry, you can just recall that die, and you get that for free.
Yep.
All right, so let's see. We would reveal, and we've got a develop and an explore. So now we would start with the explore phase, and I would like to pull from the cup. So I put one guy in there.
There's the black bag.
All right.
Careful,
and
there may be a snake in there.
There's a snake in my boot.
I thought those were boots.
Bags,
right.
boots, it's all the same.
Ooh, I got a good one. Transport hub. So it's a world, and it's going to give me a purple. So I'm going to take that and put it underneath that world.
Nice, nice.
All right. You going to go for money?
I'm going to go for money, and it's two per
per die.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So you're going to go up to 7?
I'll go to 7.
You sure you don't want to have one of those be a draw?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I want all the money so I can get my dice back and have a better
chance. All right.
All right, I'm going to do just like poker dice here. I'm going to get some money.
All
So
right,
I got, what do I got? 1, 2, 3, so I got
4.
You got 4.
Remember, that one
4
counts as
times
a
2 is 8.
Yeah, the one that you got to remember, the one that you put on that called for the phase that you want is also in the queue.
Yes.
So I got 9 money.
9 money. More money than me. Do this. All the money.
Money, money, money.
Now, see, but I can't see you. Well, you're going to save that money for next turn.
Yes, that's what I would.
Because I was going to say maybe you could draw some tiles, but okay.
And then those go away, buddy.
Those
That's
go.
true.
All right.
Those
But
go
I
in
can
the
buy 'em
citizenry.
back.
Oh,
Those-
your development's still out there because
Your development's still
Todd,
out there. Now
Todd
we do
has
the
that.
development phase. He doesn't have any dice to put in there. I have 3, so I get my space tourism out. Now, I have to read the card, and that includes the symbology. Ship. Plus $1 if you have the highest cost world across all tableaus, plus 1 extra. So whenever I ship, I'm going to get $1, and I have a 3 world. Adam also has a 3 world. I'm going to need a 4 world to get that extra $1. But if I do get an extra, get a 4 world, boom, I'm going to have that $2 for every ship. All right, so that's that, and then now we buy back our dice.
Oh, Adam's got to go. He's
So
got
I got
he's got
9.
a development.
Well, I'm going to just put on 1 development here.
All right.
And that's going to
stock
just
'em.
sit there.
All right, so now we buy back our workers here. So I'm gonna buy all of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, he traded cups on me.
Oh!
It's all right. It's all right.
All right.
It's all right. It's Christmas. But there is also one other thing: is if you go down to 0 on the board, you just go back to $1.
Yes.
So you always have at least $1 in your game board.
In your game board.
Okay.
And I think that's everything that you need to know to play this game. Let's talk about our feelings about the game. I purchased it. It was an instant buy for me. How did you guys feel? I introduced you to it.
This game actually was something that you Race to the Galaxy was something that General, you introduced me to.
Right, we played Race for the Galaxy
and
a couple
I
times.
liked Race for the Galaxy. This one, though, I felt it's a little bit, it's not for the casual gamer. It's more for the hardcore gamer. It takes a little bit to get to know.
And Race for the Galaxy has a very high barrier of entry. You need a learning curve. You need to go through, play one game, lose it, and then maybe play another game, and then you'll get the hang of it. This one, by the middle of the game, I think you understand what's going on.
What? Are you?
That's it for me. Poker Dice.
All right. Well, I played, like I said before, I played it last week for the first time. Todd explained it. I thought it was extremely, difficult to work around and you learn everything. But after probably, like you said, halfway through the game, I started learning, everything on the dock here. You learn how to strategize against because you're working against them so you can win. And I really like the game. Thank you for introducing it to me.
Right, and I like the betting aspect of it too, because a lot of times you'll bet on somebody's talking about shipping. They're talking about shipping, so I'm going to produce, and then I'll put some dice here under ship, and when they choose to ship, I'm going to get both things for the cost of one, and then they don't ship, and you're, what? Why did you talk about it so much then?
That has happened. That has happened.
So I like to read the people. So let's talk about our ratings, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest.
Well, like you with Pokemon Master, and this is not one of my favorite games. I like more of Race to the Galaxy than Roll to the Galaxy.
Okay.
I'm going to give this 6.5
All right.
out of 10.
How about you?
This wouldn't be anywhere near Pokemon Master Trainer. I put that as my number 2 spot. Boss Monsters is number 1. This will be my number 5, and I would give it a solid 7.
Solid 7.
Solid.
Now, I really like the game. I'd give it a 9, but one of the things that I noticed is I think that Race for the Galaxy is different enough that I maybe you would start by buying Roll for the Galaxy if you don't have either one, but Race for the Galaxy is a different game, so you really can't say, well, I don't need to have Race because I have Roll. They're both different. They kind of are similar enough. They scratch the same itch, but on the other hand, Race for the Galaxy has a lot of ins and outs, a lot more. You don't think it has depth, but then if you play somebody who really knows the game, you just get your butt kicked. Roll for the Galaxy, there's a lot of randomness in it, but it's mitigatable, and you can plan for it and strategize for it too. So I think that's everything, right? We hope you like the game.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
We gotta certainly zoom on out of here and catch a shooting star and race and roll for more of the Galaxy.
I don't want to catch a shooting star. It's going to blow up.
Valid point, Poker Dice, valid point. But from all of us here at Dice Squad, the Groundhog Day Gaming Retreat, this is Marshall Dice, known as Adam Campbell.
Todd Evangelista, General Dice.
Pokey Dice, known as James McAwee.
And we'll see you next time. Later.